Putting an end to distracted driving in Nevada. New information from NHP shows young drivers made up 11% of the state's fatalities from 2014 to 2018. And the main cause of these fatal crashes wasn't paying attention to the roadways. So in Nevada, it's illegal to use a cell phone or any other electronic device while you're driving, even if you're sitting at a red light. And as school begins on Monday for several institutions, it's not just driving safety that's important, there's also pedestrian safety. So the Department of Public Safety PIO, Andrew Bennett, joining us live right now to talk about all of this and also just how this is really a two-way street. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on again.
Of course. So let's start with distracted driving. I feel like sometimes I've talked to friends about this. When you're driving on the road, you really have to account for everyone around you. So you might be doing everything right, but the person next to you might have a kid in the back seat screaming, or the person in front of you might be changing the radio, not paying attention. So what can you tell us about what we can do as we're hitting the road, and also what other people need to be aware of?
Driving is one of the most, comprehensive things that you do every single day. You have to steer, you have to brake, you have to accelerate, and there's so much going on that you might be doing everything correctly, but we want to make sure that everybody around you is also doing it correctly. And if they're not, that you're able to see that and make a change if necessary. And so distracted driving takes so many different looks than just being on your phone. It could be messing with, the music, putting on makeup, shaving. We see it all. And it's one of those things where when you're behind the wheel, we're asking you simply just to drive.
I feel like I've heard this so many times from you and from other people. Is it just that people don't realize that their eyes are off the road as long as they really are?
And that's one of the dangerous things. At 55 miles an hour, just to look at that one text about 3 seconds, you're going to cover the length of a football field. And we need to understand that there's so much life going on within that football field that we need people just to focus on the road when they're driving.
Okay, let's talk about school going back in session. So I know a lot of schools here are going to be learning from home, going virtual, but some, I believe UNLV is doing in-person learning to some capacity. So people still need to be aware of not only distracted driving, but also being safe while other people are crossing the road and heading out.
We've had a lot of questions about how pedestrian safety in school zones are going to work with online or hybrid learning across the state. Here in Southern Nevada, if the lights are on, it is a legal school zone. Those lights might remain on if there are kids or teachers picking up Chromebooks or going in for the meal pickups as well. So anytime that you see children in a school zone, or if you see those flashing yellow lights to indicate the school zone, we do need you to slow down and pay even more attention to our roadways. Because again, it's going to look different this year. There's not going to be those specific times where we have kids coming in and out of school. It could be throughout the day. So we want to make sure that our drivers are paying attention and that we're slowing down for our school zone still.
Is there anything, this is the last question before we run out of time, is there anything parents can do, to make sure that their kids understand how important it is to be safe on the road?
Last year, we had a horrible school year when it came to kids being hit. The things that we want to stress is please, walking should be a safe activity. Make sure, there's not going to be any crossing guards out this year, so make sure there is adult if the child is young. But we want to make sure that parents have that conversation about what it means to be safe when you're walking to and from school or on a bike to and from school for whatever the reason is you're traveling. But parents just need to have that conversation. You can learn more at zerofatalitiesnv.com.
All right, Andrew Bennett, thank you so much for all of your advice. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us this midday, and we'll check in with you again soon. And we'll be right back.
Thanks so much.